Look at the Mr. Puppies. Look at Mr. Puppies. Look at him. He just all laid out. He just wants scratcha, huh? Is that all you want, Mr. Puppies? Oh yeah, good scratcher. Happy Mr. Puppy. Just taking a relaxed time. Good boy. And here's that guppy tank I ended up, upgrading to. This is about a 46, 48 high. I'm not sure exactly. I purchased a whole minnow farm from a guy and got a good deal. So I just took everything he had. Didn't give me the proper specs on all his tanks. He just had random sizes. But this one's going to work for us for the winter time with all the guppy fry and whatnot in here. I just wanted to zoom in and show you all, what all is going on with this tank. Yeah, I don't have any substrate in the bottom on this yet. I'm not sure if I plan to do too much of that due to the fact it's just going to be simpler to take care of it, to stir it up and help feed the pothos whenever I need to add water, or if I ever really need to clean these, because I really try to keep them natural. That's just something that works for me. See this orange square? Let's see here. Yep, right there. If you see that orange square, that was where the hole was for the bulkhead plumbing this guy with the minnow farm had set up for his whole system. And for me, it's not really going to work. But what did work for me, I was trying to get a plug for that bulkhead screw. I got a plug. By the time I came home and went to go install it, the tank was already filled over 70% of the way. And I was maybe a ½ inch too close to the wall to be able to fit it in there. Yeah, I could have drained it and moved it. But once again, use what you got method. I ended up using some of my RTV, engine RTV I've had sitting around. Once again, it's a use what you got method. And a clear piece of packaging film, plastic film, that I cut out and fit right in that area. Now, before I go into talking any more about this tank, let's just go ahead and get it cleaned up. As you see, what I'm holding here is one of my very first videos, one of my simple DIYs, 20 cents at that. Get a package of 3 or 4 of these from Dollar Tree, green scrubbies, stapled in on an old pallet strip. And if you don't feel like pulling one off an old pallet, sometimes when you drive behind some of the stores, they're already broken off, and you can just probably pick up some loose ones laying on the ground and roll on about your biz. Just figure I'll throw that out there too. Left the light on a little bit more, and she's growing algae here on the front. We're just going to clean it up and get back into it. Okay, I just poured some, I actually poured a gallon of water in here to top it off a little bit. I like to keep my things practically up there by the, by the ridge, and that's okay with me. Since doing that, I ended up stirring up all the sediments, which is okay, it's kind of feeding them at the same time. They think it's fresh food being dropped in, and they actually pick through it and find what they can out of the deal. If not, the rest of it gets sucked up into the filter system and feeds the pothos, and that's what part of this whole system in my other one in the living room is practically about. Just set up a little different, but still yet the same. We'll be back in here in a minute. In the meantime, while I wait, we can come in here and say hi to the others and see how they're doing. And since I still have this rag left, there's a little bit of wetness on it. You know, I mean, I'm only 20 feet away from the other tank. I might as well just wipe up any extra water spots that have, you know, happened since I have cleaned this up. I mean, why not, right? That's the way it goes. There, I did around here on the bottom quite a bit. Looks a lot better. And let's take a look at the crowd down here. See how they're doing. Yes, I still got baby fry in here. 3 of them out of the 4. I saved that one, and if I haven't showed that video yet, you'll see. I saved the one, and the 3 are still surviving in the top part of this inverted aquarium. I hope they're muppies. And what muppies are mollies and guppy hybrid. Yes, they do breed together, and I really love the way Miss Molly is. I mean, she's a rescue. You know, I got her along with a few others in here that were not originally something that I purchased. They get along in here just fine. Dwarfy, my little dwarf Grammy, is one of them as well. And yeah, they all do just fine, especially all the zebra Daniels, which, you know, their name is the Armstrongs. Neil and the Armstrongs. I can't really pick them all out. You can see a few of them through on the other side there, just hanging out by the pothos plant. Yeah, I call them Neil and the Armstrongs because they were the very first fish to ever be put into this pondarium. And they were my guinea pigs, you know, for words of sorts. And yeah, I just decided to call them Neil and the Armstrongs. And that's where we're at on this. We're going to go back to the other tank and continue sharing a few things. Now take a look back there to the back of this aquarium. I'm sure it's pretty obvious. You see that orange square? And inside that orange square you see a clear circle. Yeah, that's the hole that was drilled out of this aquarium for the bulkhead when this aquarium was being used in a minnow farm. I ended up getting the whole minnow farm from the guy that sold this tank and you know, fish food, all sorts of stuff, test kits, you name it. I got it all for a good deal. And right now I ended up upgrading this, you know, the guppies into this aquarium because the one I had over here on the dining room table here, it was just too small as they were massively producing. So they ended up going up from a 20 to about a 50. I'm not sure. I think it's a 50 tall. Guy didn't give me any, you know, real dimensions on anything. He wasn't sure himself on some of it. I ended up getting a bow front as well from him, and that's what started all this. Okay, so this was the bulkhead that was originally in there, right? And it didn't have a plug in it because his plumbing system was set up, you know, for his way, and that's fine. I knew I could plug it, and whenever I finally went to the store to pick up this little white plug right here and reinstall it, I already forgot. I didn't even do measurements. I thought it was far enough away from the wall. It was maybe a ½ inch too long to where I couldn't even fit it in there to screw it in properly. So you know what? Instead of draining this thing back down to where I can move it and just maybe cause a problem, I went with a, you know, one of those, what do you call it, emergency backup plan. It's not hurting so far, so you know, I'm okay with it. And what I did here is, this is just an old pump case, okay? It came, you know, from Harbor Freight. This is one of my pumps in the pondarium, and I just kept this for some of the parts and whatnot. And as I walked in there, I started looking, and this is the backing to the pump. I said, you know what? Are we gonna cut that out, size it up on the back of this tank, and once again, use what you got method. Some old, I was gonna say military. Some old red RTV silicone. This is used for, you know, mechanics, engines and whatnot, you know. And it's working. I figured if it could hold the pressure back on an engine, it should definitely hold that little piddly pressure for that silicone and glass right there on the top of this aquarium. And it's been sitting up. This has been sitting up here, honestly, for about, we're going on 3 weeks. And I have got no complaints. And yep, that's what the deal is. Use what you got, right? And I'm happy with that deal. Use what you got. Back to the tank. As you notice, I don't have any substrate. In the last one, I had some gravel and a basket. I was growing some plants out. I just condensed most of the plants into one of the baskets, and I put a few here on the top of Groot, which you can see. Like I said, it would take time, but his natural colors are coming in, you know, due to the fact of, you know, being set in here and just letting nature take over. He's starting to get some of that coloring. I can't wait. I might have to turn it around, let the other side get some of that light, and see what he looks like. We'll pull him out in the, you know, in the near future and see how well we can compare him to the original, right? I'm interested in doing that. And I'll go ahead and zoom in on some of this guppy fry in here. As you can tell, they're all doing quite well. Now, unfortunately, I lost a few of my guppies prior to the movie. Doggy door that stays open a few times here and there. And with our wind, that if you've seen on my past videos, it comes and goes. And sometimes it decides to pick up in the middle of the night and will blow a lot of cold air into the house. And if this thing is set at a certain temperature and blows that extra cold temperature onto this aquarium, she honestly, she turned into a bio mess, honestly. She started producing a green algae in it, and I just knew that it was changing up my parameters. And I wanted to get them into something and re-clean it all up soon. And unfortunately, I was probably 48 hours too slow on doing the process. So I did lose a few of my adults. Figure I'll try to show some of these guppies in here. You can see they're starting to grow out their colors. Might be a couple of them in here that, like I said, I saved from the pondarium, so I can't wait to see and hopefully be able to tell if any of them are a muppy, which is a molly guppy hybrid. It would be interesting to find out. Got a couple of these fry actually do have some color on their tail. There's one right there behind this plant. If you can see that, just a little cobra yellow color, and got a couple more that are showing that yellow tint on their tail. Here's another one right there flying by. And yeah, we're just gonna see how this continues to go. Right now I got my pothos lined up on the back end here, and if I need to, I might dip a couple more arms in and get them started with some more root systems if it needs it. Right now I'm happy with the way it's set up. And it's nighttime. I figure I'd come over here and show how well it really cleared up. Take a look up in there. Look at all them fry. And that's where we're at on that.